Hello everyone, it's Charlton. So, they reached a verdict in this trial. The one I just made a video about last night. The retired firefighter from Detroit, lives in Oakland County, which is just outside of Detroit, who fired on a high school teenager, an African-American boy. I think he was 14 years old. Brennan Walker is his name, I believe. And, you know, he had just came to the house to rang the doorbell, and he was lost. He was going to ask for directions. He had missed his school bus. I assume he's relatively new to the area. I don't know. But the wife, she's the one who answered the door. She got startled by him and I think panicked and shouted and screamed because he approached the door. I'm not exactly sure why she panicked so much, but, you know, screamed, woke her husband up out of a deep sleep, and he immediately grabbed his gun, his weapon, you know, it's just a shotgun, and chased the kid off. As soon as the kid saw the gun, he took off running, and he fired at the kid, you know, and, you know, some people said in the comments, I'm going to tell you the verdict in a second. I can't believe it. I really can't. And I actually watched his testimony after I uploaded the video last night, and it gave me a completely different perspective, definitely. And some of the couple people in the comments have said you can actually see if you just watch it where he stops, he aims, and then he stops, and then the gun goes off. And he claimed in his testimony that he really meant to point it totally in the air and just shoot a warning shot. But it went off before he even had a chance to get it fully in the air. He said the pavers on his patio were wet, and those, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a firearms expert, but I know some of those rifles, they can be very hair trigger. You know, you just barely tap that trigger, it goes off. So, you know, and thank goodness the kid wasn't shot. And I watching the retired firefighter Jeffrey Zeigler give his testimony, I really felt bad for the guy, and that he just, you know, he wishes he could have it all back, and he was just confused, you know, and woke up to this, you know, what he thought was a dangerous situation when it turns out it wasn't, but it's just things happen so quickly in an instant after waking up, you know, not knowing what's going on, your wife's screaming, and I think she was already in the process of calling 911 by that point, you know, she testified as well, so. But you can definitely you can see him stop aiming and lift the gun and then it goes off, you know. And supposedly the safety was on, so he did actually have to take a moment to turn the safety off. There was that. But if you listen to the guy testify, you know, and I don't think he's putting on a performance. I just don't. You know, that of like, you know, like he's just sorry because now he's facing criminal charges. I really felt like he just wished it just never happened and wished he could undo the whole thing. But they have found him guilty. Found him guilty of intent. Well, and before the jury went to, you know, to decide this, the judge gave the jury the option to decide of a lesser count, you know, assault with intent to commit great bodily harm. So that was one of the two counts. They could have either found him guilty of assault with intent to murder or assault with intent to commit great bodily harm. That would be one charge, but they could do either of those two. And then the second charge of, you know, possession of a firearm in the commission of a felony. And so the jury chose to use the alternate for the one of the two, you know, and found him guilty of assault with intent to commit great bodily harm, and also guilty of possession of a firearm in the commission of a felony. So he now faces up to 10 years in prison for the first charge, assault with intent to commit great bodily harm, and 2 years mandatory for the possession of a firearm in the commission of a felony. So right now, no matter what, unless he is able to win this on appeal, he's looking at 2 years, as I understand it. That's minimum for the second charge, the possession of a firearm in the commission of a felony. And I guess the felony is assault with intent to commit great bodily harm. So, but he's still facing up to 10 years in prison for that charge. which I guess is decided by the judge, who, based on just some of her body language and the fact that she gave the jury pool the option to have the lesser charge, I don't know that she's going to come down with a heavy sentence, but nevertheless, he's facing 2 years, no matter what. I mean, it's, and again, I'm telling you, when I saw the video, I thought, oh my God, it looks so bad. But even after just taking a moment and listening to a couple of the comments, it's true. I mean, he points the gun in the air. He made a mistake, but he was just frazzled. He woke up and, it was just like, he just hears his wife screaming. Somebody thinks, he believes somebody's breaking in. Maybe, we should have calmed down and figure out what's going on. But he didn't, and he can't undo that. And he wishes, and he's asked if he could have done it over, would he have? Yes, he would have. And he's sorry that it all happened, I just can't believe it. I really can't. So, yeah, man, the 14-year-old's mother was in the courtroom today when they read the verdict. She was supposedly in the courtroom throughout the trial, sobbing at different periods, and yeah, dude, and I listened to the closing arguments of both his attorney, who basically said, this was not intent to murder. This was not intent to commit great bodily harm. This was intent to scare. And he was just trying to scare the kid off, Didn't even know it was a kid, until he, just a big mistake. And in my opinion, but I listened to, I'll give you my opinion, but I listened to the prosecutor, and she flat out was saying, and I don't know if she has political ambitions or what, but her job is to win, and I'm not defending her. Believe me, I'm not defending her. But that's all. And you, me, anybody, I'm telling you right now, you get yourself caught up in the wheels of justice, and it's just, right and wrong has very little to do with how things turn out. So, I don't know, dude. It's a shame, in my opinion, and but she was basically saying that if he had been able to do what he intended to do, he would have been sitting in court today facing murder charges, and I just don't agree with that, even in the slightest bit, and I think that's reckless talk, and it's just. I'd say it's just bad all around if you ask me. But he was found guilty. Jeffrey Zeigler found guilty. And I guess they're going to appeal. His attorney basically said that they don't really take a whole lot of solace in the fact that the judge gave the jury pool the option for the lesser charge, because, minimum 2 years and probably something on top of that too. It's, I don't know. To me, it seems very wrong. And that's the story there, man. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below. I'll see you in the next video. Later, man.